This is slower. This is actually the unoptimal thing to do by about 14 seconds, since text boxes like this will be slower, since the one you don't choose is your sibling. So our sibling Akira will be the guy version now, and the voice lines for him are actually slower. However, it's only 14 seconds, so may as well just go with this option anyway.
Also means that the female character is therefore better.
True,
as a person
true,
because
true.
she does faster. So that's why we chose her.
Yeah, exactly. But this run starts off with a bike section, so this is fairly auto-scrolling, just trying to get rid of these aberrations. So these are people who have been like, what would the word be, like, infected? Yeah, like transformed or infected by bad things. I can't really remember much of what the story goes, so I might make some things up as we go along. That's fine. That's fine. That's not important. But yeah, it's all about the gameplay anyway in a speedrun, you know. Yeah, just using a gun to rapid fire, get them down really quick.
The lore for this game is very anime, so that's why it counts as an RPG and why we're here, basically. So it's set on the future, on an arc that is humanity's last resort from this corruption or whatever, from another plane of existence that is responsible for these aberrations. The arc is basically just a big, enormous city, and it's where we're gonna be just being a police officer or different things.
Yeah, there's actually quite a lot of different like areas to gameplay in this game. So there's obviously things like the bike section, which doesn't appear all too often, honestly, but combat and like exploration and just like solving crimes and stuff like that. It's a nice run in terms of like the variety of things you get, because you get good combat, good movement, and yeah, it's good. So this is the final like boss of this bike section. We have to gun down a bunch of aberrations on this truck. Usually I like to just focus on the two at the front, since only a certain amount will spawn. Every time you kill one, another will jump in. You can only have 3 at a time. So I just go back and forth between like the first two, and then when I've gotten the rest of them, I will just get the last one like this, and that's the bike section. That is the first bike section.
So it's on the first.
Yeah. Yeah, make sure you remember it's gonna be a little while before we get into another one. So this game is set up into 11 different files, with this one being file 01. And the shortest of all of them. Short is just get you into the game, get you a bunch of these fancy cinematics, and just generally introduce you to the world. So we just gotta walk this very slowly. Walk this this injured citizen over to a stretcher here. Yeah, file 1 isn't the most exciting. This game is really good. It takes a little while to like really get to the point where you're schmoovin', where you're going really fast.
Yeah, we're gonna get an expanding arsenal of tools as we go through the game. Basically, every single file gives you something new to work with, and this one, you're very underpowered, so you have to do basic police tasks like saving people, and then fighting some aberrations. In this first mission, which is basically just there were some aberration attacks in this highway, so we go here and try to solve things.
Yeah, and so this will be the first case of actual combat. So I'm gonna do 3 hits with my baton, and then swap over to the gun. The last hit of the baton, so it's in a series of 4 attacks, and the last one is very slow, very laggy. So by alternating to the gun, you cancel that end lag, or you just reset the combo and you don't need to deal with the end lag. And these police officers that are with us, they cannot kill the aberrations, but they can get them to 1 HP, so it's important that we focus on those ones first. And then move on to the other ones, so they're not like sitting at 1 HP for too long. So here especially, we need to focus on just where the police officers are shooting.
Kind of important, by the way, this main weapon that we have is the X baton. You can have 3 modes on it. Right now we have only 2. The normal baton, which is just quick and decent damage combos. And then you have gun, which is very weak, but at the same time shoots faster, and of course can shoot things at a distance. So it's kind of required for the flying enemies.
And then the third one is strong and slow, believe it or not. But yeah, we use a good mix of these different weapons throughout the run. I think any percent in this category especially is really nice for just having a big variety of things you do. Like combat will change as the run progresses, movement will change as the run progresses. I just think it's a really nice dynamic for a run. Yeah, keeps things fresh, keeps things fun. You know, everything you want in a speedrun. I will shill Astral Chain speedrunning like this entire run, so yeah, get ready for that, I guess.
Here's the first waiting section, by the way. We have to wait for people to talk, and these are invisible enemies that we can really damage, so not that we can do anything here. We just have to wait and acquire the first Legion in the game.
Yeah, so this is the main like gimmick of Astral Chain's combat. So you're not just controlling you're also controlling this, which is like a living weapon, I suppose. So you're in control of both, of two characters at once, and you are attached through the through this chain here. You can see, hence Astral Chain. And the Legion is far more powerful than us in like every way right now. So we are, trying to manipulate as much as possible to where it is basically just carrying us. Okay.
Of course, you can do a few things with the connecting Astral Chain here. The first one we saw it there. If you circle an enemy, you bind it, which immobilizes it for quite a while. And it's pretty good because you can just dwell on it, especially for backstabs, for critical damage. It's much faster. But you don't really want to kill them here. This is a 4-wave fight. The first 3 waves you can clear how you want, but then you have to wait for dialogue to happen, for Alicia and Jin here to talk about Solitaire and whatever. And so what you want to do is let Akira try to damage them to 1 HP, because like the police officers earlier, he can't actually kill them. But if you kill them yourself, more will appear and you have to kill more. So just damage them a bit, let Akira deal with them, and when everything is done here, you can just finish them off.
Yeah, so this is the first big boss of the game. This is Lias, that's his name. And yeah, we're basically just trying to do a series of hits with the Legion, and then as soon as it's done, just move it slightly so the like timer on it resets and it just goes straight into another attack, since it's doing like 4 times as much damage as us per hit. It's pretty important. And then just doing the occasional chain bind as well. Just trying to get as much damage as possible going. That was actually a pretty good fight, I think. That felt pretty fast. And yeah, that is the end of File 1, so pretty solid, I guess. We have to first go through this like scripted section of avoiding cars falling down on us, but it's pretty easy to do.
Yeah, this fight is mostly just RNG with normal fights, and then a little bit of execution here at the end, but mostly it's just a very calm introduction to the game. Will get much more complicated as things go on.
Yeah.
Starting with fight 2.
See, just a few cutscenes.
And 2 notes of Savior.
Yeah, skip.
Absolute banger of an opening.
Skip the anime intro here and go straight into the next file. In these far complete things, I'm also mashing A and plus whilst doing it in order to just have those speed up as much as possible. I didn't actually realize that for the longest time, so I just ended up like one day finding out I've got like 20 seconds of time save or something just from mashing through those, or even more than that even.
Yeah, there's a single result screen, or I guess 2 screens for each file, and you get the results, you get money, you get some experience. Experience gives you level ups, which mostly contribute to getting more health. We're playing in casual, which is the lowest difficulty, mainly because it's the only one you can choose from a fresh file with no trickery. But it doesn't really make the game specifically easier. Things are gonna die faster, of course, but you can still get hit and destroyed very easily. We're also playing in English, by the way. You can have English and Japanese voices. Japanese voices, as it turns out, are slower in general. I don't know by how much, but it's more significant than the male-female choice. So it's very important that we play in English. And text doesn't really matter because you can mash it very, very fast.
Yeah, usually I just play in German since, despite being English, I am learning how to speak German, but it doesn't actually, But for this, I just decided to keep things in English, since I imagine that's what most people are going to be more familiar with. And yeah, it's... Unlike most games, German isn't, like, the slowest language by about a billion years, so that's certainly nice. So we're introduced to this thing called the iris. It's basically just another way of seeing the world, kinda. It'll show us various things like the health of enemies and stuff like that, and it's a pretty useful tool in a lot of cases.
The most important thing is that you're gonna see, or hear rather, iris on and iris off quite a while because it's the same key as Tipping Cutscenes Plus. Have to smash it sometimes, so sometimes some slips in, and it's pretty funny, at least to me.
You'll get the iris. And also, this is big. This is very important. This is vendor 3. These are drinks we can buy. Most of them are pretty useless, but some of them are very, very powerful. They give us, yeah, just temporary buffs in fights. So we just, usually before most fights we'll have a drink that'll boost our attack by a certain amount, depending on which one we use. And yeah, we buy 3 Spicy Cobras, 1 Sweet Peach Soup, and 1 Megabyte Milk. And I'll explain all of those once we get to the point where we use them. But yeah, they are good. We still haven't gotten the best drink in the game yet, but these ones are all pretty solid, especially for this point in the game. Now it's time for the first investigation section of the game. So we can use the Legion to eavesdrop on these people. These guys can't actually see the Legion, only we can. So we can do that to just, like, listen on their conversation. So we have to go around collecting keywords, just by doing various things, and yeah, once we get enough of those, we can, like, answer a quiz about what we think might be going on. And yeah, we only need those 2. There are a few more we can get, but we only need those 2 for now. And it doesn't matter if we get the questions right or wrong. We progress it anyway. We got 1 right there, which is it's always nice to see, but yeah, it really doesn't matter. So
if you want S plus only.
Yeah, so if so the results of that, giant Chimera with giant hands dragging people through a gate, basically. That's what we're looking out for. And so this is Briareos. This is Briareos. He's got pretty big hands. So this might be who we're up against, but believe it or not, it actually isn't. Well, we are up against him, but yeah. Okay, I'm getting kind of rolled right now.
Briareos can be a very plastic fighter, can be very terrible. Mainly you don't want to get hit by that spinning attack, because it knocks you out every single time, even if you dodge into it. And then after this small script addition, seeing the police officers get turned into aberrations, you can use that time to try to get a bind, but usually it's only a fast fight if he decides to cooperate with you. Not super easy to optimize.
And yeah, just keeping up, moving the Legion slightly before doing anything. Or after it gets its attacks in, just to try and optimize that damage. We still haven't quite met the like damage of the Legion yet, so we still need to kind of rely on it to carry us. And yeah, we use the drink, our first drink there. That is a Spicy Cobra that will increase our attack by 50%. So very helpful in fights like that. And as we're walking along, we're also collecting this. This is red matter. This is just like, I guess like bits of corruption lying around. But the more we collect of it, the better our like money and general rewards will be at the end of the file. So it's pretty important to get that, especially in this early stage where money isn't super great. And yeah, we drunk a Megabyte milk there. That will give us, it'll give us 50% charge, and it will also give us armor, which will stop these like punches through the gate from actually like toppling us and knocking us to the ground. So it's pretty helpful in that regard. All right, now a team of aberrations. Yeah, start off with a quick Spicy Cobra, get our attack up. And then the main thing here is trying to... So there are Chimeras here which are a lot tankier. So we're trying to like almost mix that in with killing aberrations. Trying to mainly focus on the Chimera, and then as the aberrations drop in, also getting those. Doesn't look like these are going... Okay. Then a few more at the end. These should be the last two, I think. Yeah, that was solid. And swapping over our drink. This is Sweet Peach Soup. This is basically just Spicy Cobra, but slightly better because it also gives us like charge up.
And 3 times more expensive.
Yeah, that's why we only can buy one of them in this file.
Okay, coming up is Ensaladas, which is kind of an annoying fight, and you start by using your chain to counter this charge attack, which is something that you can do to most enemies that have one of those. And then throw it on the ground. And the most important thing here is that you want to kill this guy before he gets a chance to do a specific attack on phase 2. And you also want him to not go over the void, or you're gonna have a bad time. Which is why Shem had his back against Set Boy. Now try to damage him to 50%. We're gonna get a small cutscene. And now with a bind, try to finish him up right here. If everything goes right, we don't see that attack. It doesn't transition to another battle arena, which is right below this one, and you save a lot of time. That was pretty solid.
Yeah, that wasn't bad at all. And now we're supposed to be walking like really slowly. You see these guys kind of struggling with their walking. Just do a roll, and you can run at full speed through this section. So yeah, a bit of a time save in that regard, I guess. And yeah, making sure as I'm running along, I'm collecting as much red matter as possible. Ideally, I want around 41%. Yeah, 41% red matter cleanup rate. So pretty solid.
That's gonna be important for getting enough money for the next file. We have to do a lot of buying there.
And yeah, this is how fast I was supposed to be walking in this section, but just do a roll, and you're back to full speed. Isn't that insane?
This is another waiting section, by the way. This is our father, Lord Update. Our father, Max Tower, has this cool shield Legion called Axe, and unfortunately he also gets very affected by everything, just like us. And our entire team, which has their own separate, different Legion, of course, is gonna lose them here to the corruption of this Astral plane where we are right now. And so we have to fight our own Sword Legion and try to recapture it.
So yeah, just continuing the using 3 baton hits and then going into the gun. Making sure to dodge whenever they throw an attack at us as well, that's also important.
Sword can be very annoying here, since you have to wait for dialogue to happen. You want to keep it on stun lock, but it sometimes just decides to dodge and get asleep, and you waste a lot of time.
Well, if you don't have any other ideas, looks like that's our only option.
1, 2, 3 gun. 1, 2, 3 gun. Okay. And we are able to recapture the Legion now. And now we've got somewhat of a boss rush against all the other legions.
You unlock a lot of things in this particular part, mainly sync attacks, which are these blue flags that you're gonna see at the end of combos or at the end of specific attacks that you can do. And they, if you press L, I think it's automatic in this one, but I always press it anyway. You enter this special combo, which changes depending on weapon, depending on legion, because we're gonna have more than one, of course. Right now we only have 2, and the bottom combo with sword has some super armor, which is completely ignored by beast and some axe attacks, so you have to be careful about that. But yeah, it's mainly what you want to do in this particular part. It's 2 fights against each single legion, and hopefully you can carry the entire spicy cobra all the way through this.
Yeah, the first fight has far more HP. They end up going down pretty quickly second time around, but they still have all their really annoying attacks, especially the last 3. Arrow isn't too bad, but Beast, Arm, and Axe can be kind of troll. So that was whatever. And yeah, now just a short extra waiting section whilst we wait for the story to progress here a little bit. And we unlock what's called the chain jump. So the Astral Chain doesn't have a traditional jump button. However, we now have access to jumping to the Legion. So if we send the Legion in front of us and then press ZR, you just get a quick jump towards it. And yeah, that is now going to be our fastest method of movement, by throwing the Legion out and then jumping to it immediately. And it's also, yeah, useful for various tricks, various just parkour sections. Yeah, we'll just make things all more dynamic. We can also use it in combat as well. In some places, by jumping towards the Legion, you have a little kick attack you can do there.
Also worth noting, because it's going to be important for a lot of movement tricks coming up. The chain jump, you don't really jump to the Legion pulls you towards him, which is much different, and it has some different animations depending on the height difference between you and the Legion. And that's going to be very important for a very specific trick that we're going to be abusing quite a lot.
Yeah, a very silly exploit in this game. That we will first see in this file, actually. So get hyped.
Oh yeah, every single Legion escaped except us. We got Soul Legion back, so we're the cooler of the bunch of the Neuron HQ and whatever.
Yeah. And
so now we're gonna get some tutorials and some explanations that we already know about, but you have to go through some of them at least.
Yeah, and Max, our father, or our adoptive father in game, didn't get back at all, so yeah, very sad. Also, that guy we just ran up to there in the brown, he's Joseph. He was born in 2017, according to this game, so feel old yet.
2017 was 70 years ago.
Oh my god. Also, yeah, this is Lappy. We love Lappy. Lappy is so cool.
Pick for yourself. He's an absolute sleep paralysis demon. Yeah, Lappy is basically Neuron's mascot. He's a very good boy, according to some sources. And the thing that he's gonna give us is fast travel. And fast traveling is quite limited. You only go through some particular places in HQ, but those places are enough that it's faster than taking the elevator every single time. So we're gonna be using that for every single section between files.
Yeah, we only get fast travel within Neuron HQ, not anywhere else, unfortunately, but it's still pretty helpful since, yeah, we end up here at the start of basically every file. So it just speeds up that whole section, really. Also, yeah, shouts to Five Nights at Lappy's. Please give us that spin-off.
Oh yeah, Lappy wants to show us around Neuron HQ. There's, I think, 6 different blue cases missions. You only have to do 3, really. The first one is here in the weapons garage. It wants you to unlock Gladys mode, the third mode of the X-Baton. And we also get an upgrade which gives some extra base attack, but also unlocks charge attacks. They're going to be very useful. And you also get photo mode. Obviously the best single thing in this game and in every modern game. You can take selfies. Second one is break room. We've already been here, but Lappy is here to teach us about drinks. And then we go to the command room and get introduced to the Legatus terminal, which is supposed to be a place where you can change your legion colors and clean them. Cleaning them doesn't really do much for us. It basically makes them auto attack better in general. Yeah, we're not gonna be doing that.
Yeah,
we're gonna have dirty legions.
Yeah, it's always a pretty long process to do it as well. It is really not worthwhile to go there, but no, go to the garage. Go to the garage, please. And then this is Marie. This is believe it or not, Lappy was not actually its own living being. Marie was actually inside a Lappy costume. And yeah, Marie had a little cat there. And wants us to, like, rescue it. I can't actually remember what she wanted us to do with the cat, but it's pretty cool.
It's just an introduction to the cat cycles in this game, which is also really cool. And we're gonna log it at the end of this file.
Yeah, there's a cat in every file that you can find. Just somewhere
Also
around.
toilet?
Yeah, a cat and a toilet. Yeah, this is another investigation in Maison Forest. So we just gotta go around. This one's a lot longer than the one in File 2. There's a lot more things you need to find here. So the first one we can get by just reaching up and grabbing this little Legion drone. Waiting for a few seconds, then we can analyze the little the last moments of its existence, which we can view through the iris.
And for open invitations like this one, usually there's more than one single piece that you can... I don't know how to say it. More than one place where you can get the same piece. This one is only true for one of them, so we're gonna go around talking to NPCs and doing some stuff. And then you have a choice between playing Guess Who with some twins, and I guess quintuplets, whatever. Or capturing this guy called Parnassus. So that's what we're gonna do. Parnassus is much faster. So slash mode. Here you can use sword to slash mainly energy things that let you open doors and make that robot not be berserk. It's also useful for combat. It has a very wide range of attack and it deals quite a lot of damage on a base. So we're gonna be abusing it for a few fights.
Yeah, each Legion has its own like field skill that it can use, like the slash with sword, like to just get through locks and things. And yeah, they're all useful in combat as well, for the most part. Or have some application in combat, I guess.
Okay, you own Parnassus there, by the way. That's something that you do in many side quests, which is just binding people, and that lets you continue. If you do it fast enough, you can roll through the cutscene, so it's always faster. And this last observant boy that gives us the last pieces that we need before we go and buy the best drink in the game, fishy water.
Yes, it sounds delicious. I don't know about you, but I would I would certainly want to buy one of those fishy goddamn water. That increases our damage by 100% and also gives us plus 10% crit rate at the expense of making you a little less tanky, but that doesn't really matter when everything kind of just dies around us when we're using it.
Ronaldinho soccer. Right there, by the way. That ball is an actual side quest that I hate. Anyway, the investigation here is for another woman that disappeared into the astral plane, allegedly. So we take some, I guess, sample of the energy, and we can use sword to follow it. And it leads us to this part that has a portal into the first real astral plane section in the game.
Yeah, astral plane sections are where the movement of this game really gets to shine, I'd say. So they're definitely some of my favorite parts of this run.
Yeah, the contrast between astral plane and real world is quite big. Usually these real world sections have a lot of triggers in place that you have to go through to advance, to continue in every single file. Not always the case, but basically always the case. Meanwhile, astral planes basically have one rule. If you can go there, you can probably beat it. And you usually don't get many barriers. There's some invisible walls that you are supposed to beat fights to beat through, I don't know. And this one we are very limited, really in movement, but later on, every single astral plane has some sort of skip.
Yeah, I mean, even this one has a few skips in it.
Are you gonna go for the first fight skip?
I will not be going for that one, but you can do something silly and get out of this fight. I am not cool enough to do that, unfortunately.
It is very hard and it doesn't save as much time as you would think. But first off, the very important part, if you don't do that skip, is this is the skill tree. Every single legion has one. The important thing here is getting power charge. Power charge is a 30%, I think, increase to damage that you can equip there as a skill to be used. And it stacks with every single damage rate. So get a spicy cover, get that, and then you can deal with this guy very, very fast. And we're introduced to shield enemies after this. There's a few variations, but this one is the simple one. There's an energy corner between the shield guy and the chimera that it's trying to protect. So you have to cut that with sword. The good thing about these guys is that when they spawn in, you can usually just camp them and kill them before they put the shield up, just like this. And you can very, very easily just end the fight before you have to deal with that.
And also, it might be worth noting that these skills that we equip are different from abilities. You've probably seen that this is the no abilities category, which basically is just like random things that we can unlock or we can collect from killing enemies that are just completely random. So it kind of, yeah, you can get things like plus 25 attack, which obviously make the run a lot more RNG focused. So we just basically everyone just runs no abilities, since it's a much more consistent category.
It's kind of a big meme, and Shem actually got a PB in 90% abilities, I think a few days ago. Basically, what you can do as a loophole is you do a normal 90% no abilities run, you see that it's not gonna PB, and then you just search your abilities, equip something. Congrats, you now have a 90% abilities PB. Also, that was Hal skip. You just don't rescue Hal, which is this strange dome that is talking to us right now. And yeah, I'm not gonna explain this further.
Yeah, you can just kill yourself or throw yourself off the edge and then get into the, like, warp trigger, I guess. Or the respawn trigger for the section after that. So it's, yeah, pretty simple to do, honestly. It's definitely one of the easier tricks in this game. Yeah, there's two HAL skips in this game, actually. There's HAL 1 and HAL 2. And that one is significantly easier than the second HAL skip.
We get to that in 3 more files. Also, this is Cerberus, by the way. Dog enemies are probably the second worst type of chimeras in the entire game. This one you can damage it and kill it on the first platform, but usually it doesn't work out. Usually you have to go to the next platform.
Yeah, it doesn't really lose any time to do it this way, though.
Yeah, you have to go to this platform anyway if you kill him earlier, so it's not a big deal.
And yeah,
He's the woman that is here.
And every time we are fighting a Chimera, we will get this finish off prompt, or every time... So that happens when it gets lowered to 1 HP, and we can do like a little animation, refill ourselves to full. However, that is slow, so you won't really see me you won't really see me use it at any point, even though it just shows up. Yeah, I just gotta find the last little bit of damage to get them from 1 HP. Yeah, we'll be seeing this a few times in this. So we come back to Maison Forest, and they are not having the greatest time. People are becoming aberrations, and it's not a great experience. So we gotta save them. We gotta save them. So we learn our next skill here, Round Sword, and that just spawns a round sword around us. That's just like a constant source of DPS for us.
Astral is very good at getting focus damage in with enemies that can just take every single hit. It basically hits every single frame, and probably not, but you get the idea that it deals many hits, and if you can position it correctly, you can just focus a single enemy on the back, get a lot of critical damage. We're gonna see that abused for many single fights during the game.
Yeah, it's also very good for dealing with finish off as well, since it's just like very small, very quick, constant bits of damage. Alright, gonna do a little skip here. Does that work? It does, nice.
Yeah, this is kind of hard to explain. It's one of the newer ones. It's a proto version of something that we're gonna see in the next plane, called the Super Climb. Basically, when you call your Legion and jump to it, when it's higher than you get an animation that pulls you a little bit further up than the Legion. And if you then recall your Legion and call it again, it appears a little bit higher. And that's enough to just clear that rail and not lower the ladder that we have there. It's a very small skip, but it's pretty nice. We're gonna see a much bigger skip in this Astral plane after we beat up some things.
And yeah, just the power of fishy water shining through. Like we're doing like a single like set of attack, and that's enough to get rid of them completely. It's really good.
I told you.
Oh yeah, and in this cutscene, it turns out the one that is causing some different attacks, like the wrong one, is the Arrow Legion, the Legion pertaining to brother Akira. And Arrow is gonna come, swipe Akira, and go to the Astral plane. So we're gonna follow it.
Okay, looks like you're in. So far, so good.
Yeah, so just a quick corner cut here with the chain jump. Then we gotta use these like interactable things just to make platforms smooth. We just throw our Sword Legion towards them, and that should do the trick. There's a little bit of waiting here, so I'll just collect the bits of red matter around because I've got nothing better to do, and swap over my drink since yeah there is a fight at the end of the file, believe it or not, against the Arrow Legion. That's what we're getting prepped for. We don't need to get rid of those enemies; they're just kind of there, so may as well skip them.
And remember the small explosion that I talked about, or that skip that we saw? It's time to put it to good use with a Super Climb, a proper one at that. There's an elevator here that is very slow to activate and to wait for. So Shem is gonna use the thing that I said. You jump to your Legion, end up further up, recall it, call it again, and so you can get infinite height. Not quite infinite because you get an animation that doesn't let you go too far up, but for mostly every single thing in the game, you can just climb it like that. and it transitions into another skip. And it's another elevator skip technically, but this one goes down, so we go down as well. I'm using rolls and some attacks to stall our momentum from falling. You can go under this invisible barrier here, and not quite the first time, but you can throw your Legion right under the invisible barrier and go to the arena. It's much faster than waiting.
Yeah, for some reason they decided to put an invisible wall in, but not the whole way. I don't know what the point of that was, but yeah, I guess I'll take having a little bit less invisible wall than a whole thing. Also, this is the Arrow Legion. This fight, it's hardly even a fight. Like, I honestly feel kind of bad because wait, it's actually wait. Okay, no, we just chain bind it and then do a full combo with the Gladius with Power Charge, Spicy Cobra, and Round Sword going on, and it just does enough damage to kill it in that.
It's very important because Arrow really likes to teleport around, puts up walls that you have to go around or slash. So if you don't get it here on the first platform, the fight becomes hell.
Yeah, but usually it should be pretty consistent. It's definitely one of the more consistent Legion fights, I'd say.
Oh yeah, we have another Legion, by the way. Arrow is not as good for combat yet, but it has a longer chain, moves much faster when we move it manually. So for everything that requires moving manually, you want to use Arrow. Unless you're just jumping forward, because it's slower to call than Sword. But yeah, also we have to wait here for... Supposedly you can't go to Akira now, you have to wait for this platform, but you can just jump to it, except there's an invisible barrier before you hit the switch, so you can just do it from the start, unfortunately.
Yeah, I tried to give a little bit of a showcase of how much faster the Arrow Legion is. I don't know how much that actually shone through, but yeah. And also, obviously, it's the Arrow Legion. You can shoot with a bow and arrow, so for far-reaching targets, that's our main thing. Also, shoutouts to Cat Room.
Cat Room. Our father's secret cat sanctuary. Now you unlock the cats. Every single time you get a cat, it goes there. It has a particular name. You can feed them, which is very useless. But yeah, you can now go there anytime you want from the HQ. It's another fast travel option, which means you have to adapt your menus. Not a big deal. You just have to go up twice instead of once to go to the garage and stuff like that.
And yeah, that's the end of file 3. So onto the fourth file now. Yeah, much like all the other ones, we start this one up in Neuron HQ. We're gonna start off right next to Vendor 3 actually, so we can just buy ourselves a few drinks straight away.
Money is not a problem right now, so we can just splurge on cobras and sweet peach soups.
Say hi to our buddies in the command room, and then go to the garage, and we will be entering this area, Harmony Square, which is like, I guess, just the main place where people want to go.
Main town square, basically. Every single time you have to go to Harmony Square, or at least most times you go on your bike.
Yeah,
there's no bike section. You still have to do some rule keeping and definitely not break the law and jaywalk.
Do you read me? The others have already started investigating.
Yeah, by using a charge... okay, no, that works. By using a charge gun attack with the Arrow Legion, you get enough height so where you can just like jump over the invisible barrier, stopping you from crossing the road when the light's red. Yeah, that's just called red light skip. Very, very easy to do, and yeah, saves a little bit of time. So now another investigation. We just have to go around asking various people things about this lady called Jenna Anderson, who used to like work for Joseph, but turned bad basically.
supposedly disappeared into the astral plane, but she's also supposedly back. And she has fanboys.
Yeah, that guy tries to attack us, but we just chain bind instantly, and that's it. And then he gives us some information about Ark Mall. Run over here to the
Same as File 3, there's different cases that give you one of the words that you need. We're gonna do the two faster ones, which is the fanboy there, instead of a fight that is kind of annoying to do. And this guy is the last man who just wants a burger. That's really badly, but has never tried to go anywhere in his life, so he's very lost, and we help him.
Honestly, I'd go to a larger burger. Looks pretty good.
It looks really, really good.
You're doing great. We just need a little more intel. I marked your next destination on your map.
Also, shouts to Walking the
You
Beat.
ever watch any of those old cop shows from the
Hilarious.
20th century? They used to call this walking the beat.
Jenna's gonna be an now and just go into a portal just like that. So we're gonna follow her.
Yeah, that is something you can only really do with a Legion, or if you're most people, you can only really do that with a Legion, so it's definitely clear to us that Jenna has some, like, extra kind of power, especially since she just, like, made the portal into existence. So after Olive tells us not to follow her, we go follow her, because we're just that cool.
This astral plane is essentially entirely escaped if everything goes right. There used to be another escape for one specific waiting section that you can do, but we can also skip going to that section. Using very bad collision from a crystal on the left to start a super climb very high. Just go.
Yeah, I might do this one slightly differently to other people, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
Similar idea. Yeah, we need to find some pretty creative ways to get some height in these super climbs, especially when it's just on a flat platform. So jumping off the ledge and then does that work? No, it doesn't. Okay. Jumping off the ledge and then jumping back is certainly a way that it works. And then we just kind of keep our height going here by dismissing and then recalling the Legion after, like, in midair and sending it out, and we can kind of just skip that entire section of going around and then land on these, quickly hit that, and then head to the end of the astral plane, really. There's Jenna again, leaving through the plane, unfortunately, and we try and chase after her, and unfortunately, a load of chimeras have spawned in, and these guys are flying. These guys, we hate flying enemies, because they are
in video games.
really easy. They are really annoying, rather, not really easy. I don't even know how that, like, slipped out.
Yeah, you're supposed to be using arrow here because they are at a distance that you have to use that. Arrow is not strong at all, and we don't want to do that. So we just have to hope that they decide to collaborate. Also, this guy that Shem is gonna spawn kill is another shield guy. This one is the arrow version. It goes up into the air, and you have to follow it, but again, you can kill it before it puts up the shield. Now we have to hope that these guys don't troll us. Did he go into the block?
I think so. I'm not too sure what was going on there. He's having the goddamn time of his life or something.
Still a pretty solid fight, despite never seeing that in my life.
Yeah, that was fine. I definitely take those. The last run I did, I seem to remember really coping in this fight, so yeah, we take that.
We see some clamoring for cats in the chat. There's no category right now that gets the cats, unfortunately, but I was kind of planning to route that. It's one of the many side quests in this game. 100%ing this game is quite a task, and also very fun. Lots of hidden secrets, lots of cool cases that you skip in any percent. The less cool part is having to replay the game perfectly in 2 different difficulties.
Yeah.
And also file 12, which is just a lot of combating for like, I don't know, 3 hours if you are super optimal.
Yeah, I haven't even come close to even 100%ing this game casually. I basically just finished the game and
Head on over to the rendezvous.
went straight into trying to learn the speedrun. So yeah, another quiz. We got 2 answers right, we take those. I think the most I've gotten right is 3 there. I don't think I've ever gotten all 4 answers correct, unfortunately.
Getting the extra good boy points.
And yeah, after this we can now go into Arkham Mall. We've heard rumors that there are tentacles around here, and yeah, straight away we can see that there is goop just lying around everywhere. It's pretty strange.
Yeah. Goop stops you in your tracks. Basically, it doesn't let you move in, I think, 5 seconds of animation that you have to wait. So we have to avoid it
Keep going.
a lot. Also, shout outs to Korn coming up. But Arkham Mall is 100% movement section that is also very tricky to go with, because these tentacles are gonna get auto-targeted by normal Legion sending. So what you want to do is not do that and manually move them unless you don't have any tentacles on screen. Of course, avoiding the puddles.
And yeah, there were indeed tentacles. These were never explained, ever. And they were never brought up again, outside of this file. What were they cooking? What were they cooking here?
They're, sorry for the spoiler, but I guess they are supposed to be proto-homunculus?
I guess maybe.
Or the Chimeras, I don't know. Anyway, our entire team is getting grabbed by tentacles and attacked here. You can completely ignore them. In fact, you are kind of encouraged to not just rescue them, because you can take a picture and get a special reward for that. Very cool. Generally, you have to avoid the gravity tentacles that are around the floor and try not to get hit by the others as we continue into the next boss fight, which is going to be another Legion, Arm.
Yeah, the camera can be very uncooperative in this section, so it can definitely lead to some kind of challenges with movement. Yeah, before we go into this fight, use a power charge and a fishy water, so I don't need to do it there. And then we start off this fight, send out Legion, hit him a bunch. And then he should play an animation in a second. Yeah, where Jin, who was in the Legion before, now gets knocked out of it. And then Chainbind, power charge, hit twice with the Gladius, round sword, and then do a full Gladius combo, and that should be enough, provided I don't get gooped. Yeah, nice. This is the Arm Legion. This guy is like... This guy is kind of presented as the slow and strong Legion as of right now. However, this is actually going to be our main way of movement throughout this run. Or yeah, at least throughout this section. It's actually the fastest Legion in the game when used properly, in terms of just moving around. Albeit at the cost of quite a lot of energy, so you need to manage that quite carefully.
Okay, you have an energy bar that you're probably seeing every single time we use the Legion. With Arm, in particular, the Armor mode, which is its unique action, you can dodge in any single direction, or 4 directions only, really, and then a little bit of strafing. But that's the fastest way to move around, but as you can see, the meter goes down very, very fast. So you have to manage your energy very well, get some red matter in the floor, just to get some extra things, extra dodges. And generally, knowing when to use arm dodges to move around is the best way to optimize this game. And it takes quite a while to properly do it, because especially after the next file, we're gonna get another movement option that is not as fast, but also faster if you know not to use your energy. I know how to properly explain before we go there, but anyway, with Arm, you can also open doors, grab objects and throw them. We're gonna see nothing around these objects, but whatever. You continue with the tentacles into this auto scholar section.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning that collecting red matter will refill our Legion juice meter, so we need to make sure that when we're moving around with the Arm Legion, we are just somewhat moving towards the red matter if we can. Like, if it's all possible, we want to try and collect as much red matter on our way as possible. And these tentacles, these big ones here, will just eat chimeras. They just straight up eat them. So we actually use that to our advantage as much as possible. Oh wait, I think I messed this up slightly. Yeah, I went way too slow here.
Also was noting that there's a skip here, but it's a very annoying one that you don't really want to do unless you're 100% confident with it, because otherwise you only get one shot. And you really don't want to do the entire setup just to have to wait anyway, because pretty damaging every single tentacle to kill it. So if it's an enemy, it's the best way to go about it, generally. Also, selfie time, I assume?
Without thought. And you call yourselves human.
Give yourself up. We'll talk about it back at the station.
Maybe you're happy with your lot, but a word of advice.
Give it up.
Give it up. Come along peacefully.
Your power is not the gift you think it is. One day, it will cost you everything.
And this is gonna be homunculus coming up. This is one of the recording boxes in this game, created by Jenna, by filling it a lot of chimeras and stuff. This one is stationary. This is homunculus alpha. We're gonna see beta and such. Don't worry. Right now this one is easy. You just dwell on it as it's staying there and getting every single hit. You can't actually kill it before the voice lines go through, so what you want to do is take it to 1 HP, pause a little bit if you want, sure, or just wait and hit it right when the dialogue ends. I don't know if I timed it correctly, but that's gonna be file 4.
Okay, I'm with Akira. I'm gonna administer first aid.
But why?
Hey, just zip it. A medical
Oh yeah, during this, by the way, Akira got stabbed through the entire body and will now be in the hospital. Very cool.
Yeah, Akira kind of got rolled a little bit, unfortunately, but it's the price of, I don't know, being Akira.
Not having a legion. That's the main lesson here. If you don't have a stand, can you really do anything in life?
Yeah, I don't think so. So yeah, decent enough file 4. I didn't split properly. That's awesome. But yeah, that was low 58, so it's pretty good. Pretty good early game so far.
We're into the run killer, I would say. File 5 has a lot of things going in it that can really destroy your base. But for now, it starts with a very simple hospital visit to see Akira.
Yeah, in my PB, I lost about 120 to file 5, basically just from one trick. It was not great.
The entire mid game in general, file 6 also has a lot of very bad points, and file 7 especially
Oh god.
can make you lose a lot of time. We'll see that in just a bit.
Yeah, but first we need to go to the Aegis Research Institute, OMG, Aegis, Xenoblade 2 reference, OMG. Yeah, this is just, Brenda's just gonna be chatting at us, so, yeah, Xenoblade, that's a good series. Quad's gonna be doing a Xenoblade 3 run tomorrow, so yeah, you should check that out. And also next week, there's gonna be a Xenoblade Relay on this very channel, so you should check that out. I'm going to be part of it as well, so yeah, if you haven't had enough by me by the end of this run, I guess that's a good place to go. Smile. Yeah, Jenna's just not Jenna. Brenda is like the main nurse at Neuron HQ. She can sell you a bunch of like health items. We don't need those. We're not babies around here. So yeah, we kind of ignore Brenda for the most part, but yeah, we gotta chill with her as she kind of just chats to us.
There's a small skip here though. If you wait for Blender to start talking to the receptionist, then you can face your camera away, which you can use to get some drinks here. And then the entire dialogue is gonna be skipped, which saves, I would say, at least half a minute of waiting of this wait section, so that's pretty nice. And then you just raise Brenda to see Akira.
Yeah, if
she talks about her life.
Yeah, if you're slow there, she might say something to you, or she might, if you're really slow, she might give you a phone call from across the room just to be like, "Yo, get over here." But that was actually really fast. She didn't talk to us at all, which I haven't actually seen. This is the first time I've seen it in my, like, I guess D-Rust period. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Before I even knew what a legion was. I was right here, checking charts and pushing gurneys. Every day brought a new batch of the hurt and the hopeless.
Yeah, that's great. That's great, Brenda.
Look at that ultra shortcut here. She doesn't know that it's not a wall. Lamau.
So yeah, this is Akira in here. Actual Zuma. Goddamn 2058.
I didn't mean to go on and on about myself like that. I didn't bore you too much, did I? Shut down. Here we are.
But yeah, that's the end of Brenda's chatting. Now we just need to race ourselves out of the ARA. There are a few quests we can do in this area. However, this isn't all cases. We don't need to do this. So we can just run straight out.
The game tells you, hey, go around the hospital and we'll get a mission later. But if you just go out, you get a mission right away. So you don't have to do anything. Shoutouts to all cases, by the way. What a category.
Yeah, I gotta try all cases out at some point. I've just been running any percent. I need to give all cases a go. Sounds like it could be fun.
The other legit category in this game. One that I routed you initially, but Raju, God Gamer himself, destroyed it quite recently. It basically just plays through every single blue and red case in the game. There's some good ones, there's some terrible ones. But yeah, it's a fun category. Also much longer, of course.
Yeah,
so, file 5. Explosions in the subway, we have to go investigate that with Alicia. Ooh.
Yeah, if you knock into like anything, the game just shouts at you, some random NPC. It's really annoying. Also, to be optimal, we have to be an anti-masker in this run. We have the option to put on a gas mask for going down here. It plays a little animation if you put it on, so it's faster to not put it on. it's an actual time save. So yeah.
Please put on your mask in general.
Yeah, we do not need the time saves IRL. But in the game it is important.
So this part of the subway, you have to rescue 3 people. Walking them around is very slow and annoying. Thankfully, we have a big, bulky man in arm that can help us punch through walls and also boost our movement a little bit. First one you saw, just using his big body against the wall. And after that, we can use this grab attack, which is oops, kind of annoying to use in battle consistently, but if you send arm into an enemy, it will pull it to you. And in this case, we can use that to just give us a small movement boost forward, but it's kind of inconsistent and uses a lot of energy anyway.
Yeah, you definitely need to be careful with that. Yeah, one last citizen to save. So we run over there now. It can be a bit of a pain if you don't know where you're going here. Luckily, I've done this enough times, I know what I'm doing. And then this guy is being surrounded by a bunch of these aberrations, not chimeras rather, these little goop ones, I guess. Slimes.
they definitely have some sort of Greek mythology name that we don't know about right now. That's the bottom line.
Alright. Yeah, just this one last guy. This we will be interrupted by one Chimera here, but we will just use him as our little buddy to carry us along.
I call him Carlos. Carlos the Camaro.
Yeah, don't you also have Aaron the Aberration as well?
It changes from time to time. I don't know about the oration one. He just exists.
He just chilling. I mean, usually you end up using like 3 or 4 aberrations, so yeah, making our way downtown to how did that hit me? To the lower sections of the underground here. Gotta use the arm to just push us through these doors. As soon as we like start the animation, we can swap to sword, and the animation will continue anyway. So that's a nice little thing you can do to save time in some places. And yeah, we got these pair of Beast Legion or Beast Chimeras. If I actually do my attacks properly, we should be able to beat them. Smile.
Yep, it's 2 big dogs, and then 2 small dogs are gonna spawn in front of the escalator. They are kind of annoying to deal with. They can be anywhere on the screen when you start. They are the final boss of this section as we go into finding the real perpetrator of the explosions. Not before getting a long monologue about Alicia's life.
You really saved my bacon.
Yeah, Alicia starts chatting. Yeah, we get a bit closer to Alicia, finding out that, and yeah, it makes sense that we're gonna get her former Legion next, the Beast Legion.
Never mind. Not like your old man.
And the Beast Legion is pretty solid.
Just say, everything doesn't
So I-
always
She's just standing there.
the way you think it
So I did not realize you could do this with your player character. Just shuffle
Hey.
along.
Yeah, as long as you start this conversation, you can do whatever you want here. You don't have to go up the escalator. I guess it doesn't escalate you during the cutscene, so is it really an escalator? I don't know.
Yeah, this is the source of a lot of the damage. This little circular man we're chasing. So we gotta try and manage our charge whilst also moving around with the Arm Legion. I failed to do that, unfortunately. So yeah, gonna run in. I feel like my strategy here changes like every time I do it.
It's a really annoying fight to properly manage. You can, or at least the supposed optimal strategy is doing something called the yo-yo glitch. So it's quite annoying to set up. So since Sam is not doing it, I'm gonna pass on to it. But Prometheus here can just float around and do nothing for a while, or slam and do an attack that you can barely tank. And he shots himself in flames, and you can't do anything about it. It's quite an annoying fight to manage, but that was good enough and a good introduction to the hardest section in the game.
Yeah, luckily what I do makes it quite a bit easier, but it's still definitely not easy. But first, it's
there's
the
like-
beast fight.
There's like 7 different ways to do this Astral plane. You can fight this Beast Legion, you can skip it, you can later skip 3 different things in a few different ways. Shem chooses to fight Beast, and actually good choice because it's only paying forward if you don't do that. What you want to do is bind it immediately and then bind it again as it goes to jump to another platform. If he goes to another platform, you either shoot him and try to kill him there, or wait for him to just shoot the entire thing as he camps you out. But if you can get that chain before he does that,
Yeah,
you
usually
just, yeah.
Yeah, usually the best backup is just to reload the whole file, or the whole section rather, since it's pretty slow to do it anyway. And yeah, if you can get it second try, you're still doing pretty well. Yeah, this is the Beast Legion. It still goes pretty fast, not as fast as the Arm Legion, but it's a lot more consistent in terms of its energy usage. So for longer sections, Beast Legions definitely are play. And so we're gonna maneuver the Beast Legion through here. There's a fight at the top of there, so we just move the beast up there. That won't trigger it, and then we just chain jump to it. So a little skip there, a little easy skip. And then this is, yeah, one of the hardest skips in the entire game. This is Hell 2.
We have many different variations for this. This the hardest variation, which is skipping beast entirely, then skipping both of the fights there with a pretty annoying trick, and then doing this to maneuver to this platform, to the top of it at least, and from there you can just jump to the end of the hull section supposedly. Hull 2 as a section is kind of annoying to do because you have to unearth something with beast and then do a fight, and then you can do another version of the skip or fight another thing. If you can skip it entirely, that's the best case scenario. In this case, getting on this block, and then you can just instead go here and skip this puzzle as well by going to the left here.
Weird angle, weird angle.
Pretty weird angle, yeah. It's very hard to be consistent with angles in this game, so it's fine. And this last section, just go to the end. As I said, you can do this entirely without beast. It's probably the hardest thing you can do speedrunning this game.
Yeah, I've tried it out once before, and I think I've gotten it like once. I don't understand how you can put it in runs. It's actually insane.
I consistently lose at least 1 or 2 minutes to this, so it's fine. I understand not wanting to do it. Anyway, that was Jenna. Now we're gonna use the time before the last fight in File 5 to upgrade some legions. First off, Beast is not that great in combat, but he has some very important abilities, especially Howl. And Arrow is, again, not very good in combat, but by using a lot of points here, we can unlock something called Round Arrow, which is one of the command attacks, I guess we can call it that. If you do a circle and then call Arrow, you get a special attack. Every single legion has one, but Arrows is going to be very important for later. You'll see. And of course,
Did I just forget to
get power charge as well.
power charge? Did I just? Yeah, I just forgot. That's something I haven't done before. Interesting.
Yeah, you kind of want to have power charge in a few legions so you can cycle through them and always have it on in case you need it. In this case, we have it on Arrow, Sword, and Beast. So if you want, you can always have it up. Always have that 30%.
Yeah, it's a pretty simple skill, but probably one of the strongest. Just makes you stronger. That's all we need. So one last fight in File 5 here. This is against Proto-Legions, which Jenna has developed from stealing things from Yosef. So these are basically just, yeah, kind of like Legions, but not as cool. And with the power of Fishy Water plus Power Charge plus Gladius, they go down pretty quickly. There's 2 of them, and neither of them are all too tanky, so it doesn't take all too much to get rid. But yeah, that's File 5. That was okay. File 5 is hard, so I'll take that. Yeah, would have liked to see like a first try Hal 2 or whatever, but yeah, that still wasn't too bad. My PB got it on the 3rd try, so yeah, it's not an easy skip to get consistently.
And now we go into File 6, which is essentially the midway point of the run. And we don't really have a police mission to do. Instead of that, Jenna gives us a USB with some data that you could see on your screen there. If you want to read it, go play the game, I guess. but we can just skip having to go through the data. And now Hal, which apparently also works for the police as a super hacker or whatever. So he's gonna collaborate with us. He's the one that took the USB and analyzed it and found some fishy stuff about Zone 09. It's a closed off zone from a pandemic of aberrations that happened, I don't know how long ago. But you're not supposed to be able to go there, especially without permission. So we're gonna do it anyway. Be the bad cop in this case.
Yeah, get to the truth of the matter or something. And yeah, with some of the cutscenes we saw, we can definitely start seeing that maybe Joseph isn't a super nice guy. But first, we got to go to Harmony Square. We can get through it this way, and we'll be performing Red Light Skip again. This time in a slightly different spot, though. Is this gonna get someone to shout at me? Yeah, it can be very easy to have someone just shout at you from that, but luckily we skipped it there. Then we just start moving along. This is a fairly long section, and no red matter as well. So we gotta make sure we're just using the Beast Legion. And then we
So remember that people can't see Legions, so we're gonna be riding on midair for them.
Yeah, no one seems to care though, for whatever reason. Yeah, use our Sword Legion to break through and then go straight down. So this will take us into our first little stealth section of this run. There's a few stealth sections, especially in side quests, but there's a few we gotta do as part of the actual game. But first, Hal is down here waiting for us. He's gonna give us some drip to make us blend in a bit more. Iris, Iris, Iris.
Another big reason you have to play as female, because the female drip here is very, very much better.
Oh yeah, male
than
Protag
the male
has
one.
absolutely no drip. It's actually kind of impressive.
There's lots of customization options, by the way, in terms of clothes and hats and whatever that you can get. Of course, we are not gonna change it, really. Yeah, this is the one file where you can see some customization going on.
And yeah, the nice thing about this stealth section, if you get caught, you have the option to break your way through, which we can do there. We don't just get sent back to a last checkpoint or whatever. And yeah, by just doing a quick chain bind, you can get past that final guy. It's a pretty quick stealth section. And then there's one small extra bit here. This one we will hopefully not get caught in. So by going around here, this guy doesn't see us, and then these two at the end, we get the guy at the back, and then the guy at the front doesn't realize what's going on, and we can just go past. He doesn't see us, and we will just run straight forward.
Classic video and guards. Right, there's supposed to be a small quest here to learn how to enter Zone 09. If you know how to enter Zone 09, then it doesn't really matter. You can take this path right away to the side entrance.
Yeah, this walking man is the first guy we talk to. We need to make sure we get there quickly, so he doesn't like walk too far away from these guys. We only need to talk to 3 people to get this done, and yeah, it's the walking man and then two of that group we can see in front of us.
There's 2 ways to go about this section. There's, I think, 12 different cases that you can do here that give you one specific word, or you can just talk to the walking man and solve your problems because he knows everything. So this section is very, very short in 80%, but in all cases you spend like 15-20 minutes just walking around doing random stuff, which is fun. This section is ruled, quote unquote, by the Hermits, which is some kind of organization that you can see in other missions as well, just hidden away. You can fight some of them. This is their headquarters. We want to infiltrate into them, but we don't know how to. So we're just gonna kind of ask them politely with Beast. Of course, it's the ventilation ducts.
Then this game doesn't have too much OOB, but this is one of the examples where we can actually go out of bounds. If I'm not bad, that is. So by returning the Arm Legion to us through a wall and then jumping to it, we can stop it like midway through. And then by using this, we can just like kind of just chain jump to a spot out of bounds. Like we can kind of just get through there, and then yeah, you get down to the lower section of this and get into the vent.
We are venting. Funny. If you do that, you also skip some rubble that you have to dig through with Beast, which is pretty nice, because otherwise if you go the other way, you have to wait a little bit to go into this. So yeah, we are venting.
Yeah, I was gonna try not to make an Among Us joke, but I guess here we are.
Fine. This is the mandatory bathroom break, right in the middle of the run, which is very nice. You have this section where you can't do anything except listen to the hermits and to my boy Kyle here.
Yeah, this is
talk about police and stuff.
Yeah, this very cool individual, Cool Kyle, is the leader of the hermits, and yeah, he's just observing what they're doing. And yeah, they can see chimeras too. They can beat them up, and they're pretty decent at it, you know. And that means
you're
that
gonna do skill glitch. By the way.
Yeah, I'll be doing the glitch here.
Then I think it's kind of important to explain. We have quite a while to explain it. So every single legion has their own unique abilities, and some of the most useful ones, take a long time to unlock. But thankfully, they have internal IDs you can abuse with a specific trick. So when you call a legion, it has a waiting period where it has to load in, and during that you can change legion because they would have to load in as well. So if you do this with one legion, then change to another while it's loading in, you have access to all the abilities from the other legion, and if they have a specific ID that they can get translated to the other legion that you are trying to load in, then you can use that ability without cooldown and without having that lock. And we're gonna use this to use Black Hole, or Gravity Well, I think is the proper name, with Arm, which gathers enemies in one place, and it makes multi fights like this, where people can just dodge you forever, very, very fast.
Yeah, Gravity Storm is actually the final skill you unlock on the Arm Legion skill tree, so it's definitely very difficult to get access to, so being able to do this is super, super nice here, and just being able to get it from, like, any point in one. And then we've got to fight Kyle after beating up his cronies. Gotta fight the big boss now.
Use Hal to stun him as he enters, skipping the intro animation, the splash screen, and then you can just combo him until he decides to die. Not really die, because we're gonna ally here. So we're gonna see a smoke bomb when he's at about 20% health, I'd say. And now we are friends. I love his mask, by the way.
Yeah, Kyle is probably my favorite character in this game. We don't get to see too much of him, but whenever we do, it is very cool. But now there is more waiting for us. Kyle likes to chat, apparently. He likes to do a lot of chatting. But yeah, we are now in like the very depths of the hermit space, and the interesting thing about it, this wall, it's not a wall, so that's kind of how fancy the hermits are.
Kyle's gonna show us around the path here. That can to be grips, whatever, and we have to wait to get a specific thing. The lore here is that a guy called Douglas is selling performance-enhancing drugs to the hermits, and then they use them and they are powerful enough to beat Kermes on their own and stuff like that. So we want to track this Douglas guy, and unfortunately he disappeared, leaving behind this briefcase that we can use to track his scent with Beast.
Or
we have to get this briefcase, or
we can
we
can not track his scent and just know where he's going.
Okay. You only need to track the scent of something once if you want to do 100% in the game. It's very much optional, but you have to get it in order to stuff. Also, this is what I like to call balconing for all my Brits and Spaniards here. This is very typical in Mallorca. Don't look it up. It's not as fun as it sounds, but yeah, you can just kind of face through the window if you have the correct angle here. It can be very tricky, but there we go. And then you can push your way to this platform, which is coincidentally exactly where we need to go. And thank God that it's loaded. It's so weird that it's loaded, but everything in this section is loaded at the same time as you are in the base. Except the details, as you can see, they are loading in. After killing this guy, a portal appears, and we can go to the next astral plane.
Yeah, File 6 I think is a very nice astral plane. A lot of good movement here, and a few cool fights as well. Get to see how goofy our Arrow Legion is as well. How goofy we made it for combat.
Yeah, Legion, for sure.
Yeah, the Arrow Legion, we buffed it a lot. It's not like universally useful in combat, but in the niche situations where it is useful, it is silly as hell. It is so silly. Is this angle okay? Okay, yeah.
There's a lot of specific escapes here with these platforms that appear when the Legion is here. And this guy coming up, everything in this plane is in a global cycle, so killing this guy fast and getting in this elevator, you can see, is gonna make everything be in a specific cycle. So you want to clear this as fast as possible for that reason. It can go right, left, or backwards and throw a little bit, but as long as you get here in this first cycle, then you have this consistent pattern here, you can just continue.
Cross here, up, okay, that's not the angle I wanted. Oh, am I having to wait now? Yeah. Oh, okay. That was...
Yeah, you can get crushed. It's definitely tricky. As I said, if you get stopped or whatever, the cycle is not going to be favorable. It's a very annoying astral plane to do perfectly every single time. And there's a lot of trickery that you can do to get better, like newer skip here that is quite annoying and you only get one try at it. But usually just shoot those 3 things. Let's continue into the fight to end this astral plane, which is gonna be very goofy.
Yeah, so we start off with another black hole glitch here. So this just group of chimeras will just all get trapped in here, and then we just use the power of our arm legion to just beat them up, beat them all up. Pretty quick like that. Then swap to arrow, power charge, and then a cutscene should trigger. This is a guy, and then we just Tartarus, and then we just use round arrow, and you win in like 3 seconds, and that's the entire fight. Because on big enemies like that, you just hit them like so many times if you can get them in the middle. Like for big enemies, round arrow is insanely busted.
Yep. This is one of the big innovations from a guy called Kure, which is basically the messiah of this game. Came out of nowhere and one day found a million different escapes and got world record by like 4 minutes, and then never did another serious run again, but kept finding things. Round arrow is the best way to deal with many enemies, and that's the only reason we get it, because the damage stacking is ridiculous. with enemies that can get hit by everything. Also, Zorna is kinda getting destroyed by, let's call it, the energy of the astral plane that is getting fused with this section of the arc for some reason. And so we have to save Kyle and save the world, I guess.
Something like that, yeah. So do the power charge just before that cutscene starts, so we just have it instantly go into this little fight. So use the power of the fishy water to just extend through that fight and through this one as well. If we time it properly, we should be able to use the power of the fishy water for both.
Those are jerks, by the way, but that was a decent enough fight.
Yeah, that's solid. Just gotta wait for these platforms to load in and then we can move on. Keep on pursuing Douglas. Yeah, more and more people we see getting turned into aberrations. We don't need to fight them, we can just go right past them. This lady kind of gets bodied by by a bit of falling rubble. I just realized you don't actually get to see that happen. But yeah, trust me. Trust me, it actually does happen.
It's definitely a mission that you can do, as you can see on the right there. Not anymore, but oh, save the lady. How about we just beat up the samurai? That sounds like a fun time.
And everyone's telling us to run away, but we go right towards the danger. And at the Vendor 3, we need to make sure to sell all our items that we've collected so far in battle, just all these salvage items.
Yeah, they are random drops, so the amount of money you have here can vary quite a lot. But as long as you have around 36k, you should be fine for the rest of the run.
Yeah, I got 38k, so this is very nice in terms of money.
You can get more money later. We don't really need to get that much money until the end of the game after this, so it should be fine. Also, time to find Douglas. I hope he's doing well.
Yeah, not quite. But we're gonna be able to like take in the CCTV footage of what just happened, able to watch it back through the iris, and we see Jenna. Jenna comes out with a briefcase, tells Douglas something, and apparently, whatever Jenna told him was, yeah, enough to make him do that. Enough to make him commit suicide, unfortunately. So now we've...
I like to imagine the low tier god speech here. For the fun. Anyway, we got caught, by the way. We're here illegally, even as cops. So now our friends are here to take us back home. And we have kind of a waiting section. We can fight some aberrations if you need drops, but no, we're good on money. We're just stalling for time until the next boss comes, which is gonna be Homunculus Beta. You want to buff before it and dodge the first attack, and then pray that round arrow hits everything, because otherwise this fight is gonna get very annoying. You either kill it fast or it kills your momentum fast. Let's see which one it is.
Yeah, round arrow is silly. You just get so many hits. That wasn't even that good, but yeah, that was still a super quick fight on that. And yeah, that is the end of File 6 for us. Now on to File 7. Made it a bit more than halfway through the run so far, so that's... you love to see it. Yeah, File 7, we start off with a little bit of waiting. We're now in, like, a little police solitary confinement unit, or not just prison. That's where we are. That's what that place is called.
Yep. It's a section in the neuron headquarters that you don't actually get to enter until now. It's very cool. It has some items in some files. Yeah. Also, Akira is back. He wasn't dead. That was a very exaggerated rumor by us in particular. And he's edgier than ever. In black and red, which is the exact contrast to us. Could be foreshadowing for something, I don't know.
Yeah.
Also has the word Raven everywhere.
Yeah,
For some
Akira
reason.
has been promoted to this to the leader of this group called the Ravens, and he has gotten his own legion back, and they've all got legions too. And it seems to be a pretty elite group. Whereas we're now just, yeah, not doing great. Olive and Hal, our friends, will try and call us here, but it's faster to just not answer. to be a horrible friend and just completely ignore them. So how do we get out? Well, bad things are happening. So they're like, okay, we need as much power as we can get. Just let her out, basically.
Let the product out. We can't do anything without our main force, basically.
Yeah. So another homunculus is existing, and yeah, we definitely need as much help as we can get. So despite the fact that our relationship with Neuron isn't that great, we're back on the team. We're doing fine. But first, we've got a bit of business before that point. Got to go down to the training room and upgrade our X-Baton a little further. So we upgrade it 3 times. So this first we get delay attack. Second is somersault, which is where, yeah, when the enemy's stunned, we do a little somersault attack. And the third, the most important one, is assault command. This is pretty useful in combat and also allows us some very easy access to super climbing, just based on some like combinations of it. So we can basically now super climb anywhere now that we've got assault command. And yeah, it's going to be like one of our useful ways of doing combat now in the run as well.
So you have a charge attack with arrow as a super climb starter, but that's kind of slow, even if it can be used anywhere. Instead of that, assault with arrow is much faster and basically instantaneous to do anywhere, enemies or no enemies. So that's gonna be the way to start every single super climb starting now.
Hurry over there.
Also, this is file 1. You can see in this file 7 that most files are kind of connected. We're gonna start where file 1 is, go through a different section that is not in other files, but we're gonna see it. Well, we could see it in file 8. We're not gonna see it really. And then you go into file 2. So every single thing in this area is connected, but it's kind of restricted by the missions that you can do. And it's being attacked by this lovely fella, this homunculus, that is gonna throw a track at us, and we can't do anything about it.
But we
Unless you get
can.
distracted.
Yeah, we can shoot it with our arrow legion, and that will just stop it. If we hit it twice in the head, that'll stop the animation and then just skip it throwing throwing these lorries at us. So yeah, just a little bit faster. Saves us a little bit of health.
I don't know who discovered that, but it turned another school into just doing that, which is nice, because this part is just mental preparation for what's coming. Very annoying bird that we're gonna see in just a bit.
Also, I love the camera there so much, the selfie mode there with the just pointing up at the homunculus. Goes
The
hard.
soy jack pose. Yeah. This lovely big bird that we're gonna sing now, that's Kelino. Keep that name in mind because we're gonna fight it in just a little bit. But before that, we have to do Super Richard's Escape. Richard is a guy that is part of our team. We're gonna see it. We're gonna see him as we go out of bounds here. You're supposed to help Richard and then press a button that brings down a specific bridge that you have to go through. We used to have Reach Escape, which is just going to that bridge and doing stuff to go over the bridge. But then we found this, because this has collision for some reason. So we can just go out of bounds in the pipe.
No!
And go to the bridge and try to go through it, but sounds like something went wrong. Hopefully, no, you got the bad respawn.
Yeah. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate.
It's
Yep,
a very
fall 7.
annoying speed. This is fast to retry. But yeah, there's a bunch of different missions that you can do here to save your friends. Another one after Richard was Alan. Alan is now hanging on a precipice, and we are supposed to go and save him. You can see that health bar ticking down. How about no?
Yeah, he'll be fine. Why didn't that work? Oh my god, did I do that too early? Oh, I'm actually trolling. Whatever.
It's very hard to properly get it. You have to wait for arrow to go past it and for the chain to not be not have a deviation that makes you fall out of bounds. Sometimes you fall out of bounds and then respawn up there anyway. It's a weird trick to get, but yeah.
Yeah,
it's
especially
not the worst part about this, though.
Especially when you're not even inbounds, it can be, yeah, very strange to to navigate like OLB, like when the game doesn't even have any idea what's supposed to be going on. Can I like stop doing this? What am I doing? I just keep. I need to pay more attention. Just take it slow and steady. This shouldn't be as hard as I'm making it look. Yeah, sometimes like a trick can just actually get trolling. Should have practiced this before. It's just a hassle to get to
Facing
this
through
point.
the bridge is not super consistent. Yeah. You can always just go inbounds again and do the old strat if you remember it.
I can't save. I can't really
Just
save. I can.
double,
What am I doing?
double button assault with arm, I believe.
Something like that. Also, I do really need to get this. I've got a lot of time to my estimate, but like I shouldn't be messing this up that much, or as much as I am really.
Worth noting that you can die from boarding out. You're gonna stop at 1 HP. Usually we don't really care about HP because the drinks that you use to power up usually restores some HP. So if you are at 1 HP, it doesn't really matter because if you have to fight something, you're probably gonna get a heal before it.
Right,
and in casual you get 6 revives anyway, so it's not a big deal.
Dude, what am I doing? This is really weird. I have never messed this up that much. Well, so yeah, going so slow that Alan is actually fooling, but it doesn't actually matter. See, that's actually what I was trying to show off. The fact that
Alan is fine.
yeah, the fact that Alan is doing great.
Nice result screen.
The results.
Thankfully, we don't get graded in casual. You only get graded by playing standard or ultimate. It's a good moment to mention that yesterday, data miner called Cavalex found the platinum code for this game, which is the code that is here in every single one. Also nice. You can now unlock max difficulty, ultimate, for every single file right away. Which means we can do any percent ultimate in new game. I saw Rachu, Cornwall Oracle Folder, doing that earlier today. It does not look fun at all. You take so much damage. Oof. Also, talking about Oof, this is Kalino. First phase is gonna look innocent enough. You just do some assault with gun, with sword, and then get ready for the real fuckery.
Yeah, the way this is probably the only fight I will consistently finish off on, just because of how annoying it can get. So I just don't even want to have to deal with getting that last hit in, if I can avoid it. Yeah. Kalino has a bunch of ads it can spawn. And it doesn't just do that at the start of the fight, it does that partway through as well. Which is what I am mostly looking to avoid here.
Yeah, there's two ways this fight goes. You either burst it down immediately and don't get trolled, or you get trolled. That's like that. If you don't kill Gyno fast enough, it can just go upwards and be not really invulnerable. You can still damage it with arrow, but it's not particularly fast. But it basically takes a back seat and forces you to fight small birds, and it's quite the time loss, unfortunately.
Yeah, this fight is not good. This fight is not cool. Yeah, that was pretty rough. This has been a rough File 7 so far, if you couldn't tell.
Unfortunately, it's how it goes normally. File 7 is another destroyer runs.
Yeah, File 7's probably the hardest file, in my opinion. Like, everything here just sucks. Everything here is just not good.
That was way too close. Don't let it
Right,
get away.
now we can follow the homunculus. Currently in the beta state. As it continues to get more and more aberrations, we can see him here absorbing some more aberrations and powering up. As we have to wait here to continue backwards through File 2 into a surprise fight that is very annoying to optimize. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I take it fairly safely, so I cannot be bothered to deal with the fancy strat here. So yeah, we are using Assault Command with gun a lot here. It's is this gonna be cringe? Okay, no, this is good. Actually, is it?
It is not great.
It is.
Never mind. Energy.
Have slightly too much HP. It was like a hit or two away from dying. Whatever. That's still fine. Yeah, Assault Command with gun is like actually one of the strongest ways of just doing really quick damage. And we can use it here. We use it against Kalino just to keep on getting our damage going.
Did you lose sight of the homunculus?
Yeah, it definitely makes a change from just like doing just the generic combo for sure as well. So yeah, Assault Command is very, very good.
Jump scare warning coming up. Probably delayed, but you get it. You're supposed to dodge this, but this laser you can just tank with arm and then open these doors and cycle through every single legion back to arm to move through the doors faster. All the way to this next section where we're gonna we're supposed to rescue some officers that are being hurt here. You can just not do it, but you have to have some finesse about it because the captain here is gonna talk to us and we want to wait until he says damn it and then go in, otherwise you get an extra wait time where you have to rescue them.
Now we're gonna start to do another quick super climb here. This one we have to have a Megabyte Milk to give us some armor before doing the fight, before doing the climb, since yeah, the homunculus can and will want to stun us usually. So we just want to get a quick Megabyte Milk to avoid that, and then we just keep on going up, and we will eventually get to a invisible platform here. Now by going around this, we can avoid we can avoid a fight trigger, and then yeah, go around and just progress slightly faster to the next section than what we do before. And also stops enemies spawning in, which yeah, are really annoying to deal with when you go around like the actual way, the traditional way.
Yeah, you can get into these elevators at the end if there's an enemy around. It doesn't close the door, doesn't go up. There's a few ways to skip that if you go to the left, but this is a more recent one. Something developed for all cases, basically, because there's one of those fights there. It's much faster to go right to it. But if you climb it and then avoid that fight, which is not as easy as it seems, it's a very big trigger, you can just go there and ignore every single enemy.
Yeah, you need to make sure you really hug the wall there. And now we've got 4 Proto-Legions to fight against. The whole squad is here now, and we gotta make sure we beat them up, basically.
It's probably one of the hardest fights to optimize as well.
Yeah,
you can do a lot of things.
I am not great at this fight. Because there's just, yeah, so much you need to keep track of, so much going on. And they can... Yeah, they can really get pranking.
Nice picture, by the way.
I did not...
Usually...
Yeah, I accidentally hit the camera button when I was trying to swap weapons, which is very easy to do.
Anyway, Homunculus beta here at the start. We're gonna damage it real quick, and it's gonna armor up and transition to the next one, which is Gamma. Unfortunately, we got the worst possible attack for that. Right. And thankfully, Gamma is way easier. It's just round arrow around his legs, and that deals damage to the armor, stuns him, and you can just keep on wailing or bind him up or whatever, because he's just a sitting duck against spinning to win.
Yeah, sometimes he can, like, jump away and really get annoying, but yeah, luckily he didn't there, and yeah, that was a decent ending to a pretty miserable file. Yeah,
you have to kill him fast enough, or he goes to the side of a building and then becomes impossible to kill until an animation happens, so
yeah,
we didn't see that. That was nice enough.
And also, this is our biggest drought in Fishy Waters in the run, so we don't actually... There's no spots in File 8 that give us Fishy Waters, and there were none in File 7 either, or at least ones that were fast enough to go to. So now we have to do all of File 8 without any of our really good drinks, so we gotta use our... Even for the important fights, we gotta use the slightly weaker drinks, but... Yeah, it's whatever.
You can brew drinks in many different ways to have fishy water here, but at the same time, it really depends on how you want to do things. There's a lot of variations.
And yeah, if you can do the final fights at the end of File 7 well, I think you can skip a whole Fishy Water there, since I usually use one for the first 2 fights and then one for the last fight. But
I usually use a Sweet Peach Soup myself on the first one. But yeah, same concept. File 8, by the way, meme file, lots of minigames, but we are not gonna do any single one of them unless we count cleanup.
Yeah, we now go back to where we were at the end of File 7. We're basically told, hey, this place is not doing great, can you, like, just help sort it out? And we just ignore everyone asking for our help, because we're great guys. Also, shouts to failing to open the elevator. But yeah, there is one mandatory cleanup section we've got to do to progress the story. So we just head straight there. We're with Akira this time, he's helping out. And if it ever loads, we will be able to progress that way.
Mass Effect moment.
Yeah, I'm playing on the physical version of this game, which loses about 2 minutes in loads compared to digital. So it's not great, but for a 3-hour category, it doesn't matter, like, an insane amount. But it is obviously gonna definitely start mattering, especially when you start to get to the like higher level times.
Okay, coming up is cleanup, as we said. This is a very hard section to optimize. But basically, there's a bunch of red matter and some portals that we have to clean up. And you have the timer there. You have a 12-minute time limit. At every single section of time, 3 minutes I think in particular, Akira is gonna remind us, hey, how are you doing? I'm doing fine. Are you doing fine? And that means that if we can finish this before the 9-minute mark, we don't have to hear that. And that's important because if you do this decently enough but not fast enough, you can basically go to the last part and get that dialogue. And the last part has a portal that you have to enter, but you can't do that while Akira's talking. So it's very important that you finish this before the 9-minute mark. Otherwise, use arrow to move around fast, or use arm for the big hitbox and moving around fast as well. And every single section is 4%, so you can keep track of what you got or what you may have forgotten by using that. It's very easy to forget just single piece. They are really hard to just notice if you don't do everything perfectly.
Yeah, this is one of the longer and definitely one of the cleaner sections of movement in this run, no pun intended. But yeah, it's obviously still very difficult to do optimally. And yeah, we were using primarily a mix of Arrow Legion, since it's the fastest legions just move around in sections like that, and also the Arm Legion, since it's just the fastest to move around as. And since you're collecting so much red matter, that'll fill up your energy gauge. So energy isn't really a concern for us, so yeah, it's just worth using the fastest Legion we can. And also I'm getting a Megamite Milk kit again for the armor, so I can just tank these death balls coming at me from the portals. Yeah, usually if they hit you, they knock you back, so it can be very irritating to try and deal with that normally, but by just using a drink, we can completely ignore that.
Yeah, this is gonna be the 9-minute mark I talked about very handily.
Yeah, getting in there, 9:31, not even close. Yeah, this last 4% comes from a fight in the Astral Plane against 3 phases of enemies. First up against some dogs, second up against some slimes, and third some slimes and some dogs. But yeah, by using a lot of the Sword Legion, just the slice it's got, you can definitely get rid of them fairly effectively. I'm gonna save that. Actually, no. Come on, one more enemy. Then as they're spawning in, use your slice attack and focus to slow down time for a little bit, so you have just as much of an opportunity as you can to get your damage in, and then yeah, ideally they should die before they can get away, but I didn't quite have enough energy there. But that's still okay. That was still pretty solid.
Yeah, solid cleanup.
Yeah, that was much better than it went in practice today. So that's nice.
It's definitely the more IL-ish section of the game. You have to practice it a lot just to get it down. Yeah, that was fine enough. That would be the end of File 8. But then we get a strange signal from a Legatus. I actually maxed this Legatus out that was lost in File 2. So we're gonna have to investigate that. Go into this labyrinth section. It's a predetermined path. You're supposed to follow a specific... I don't know how it works, but basically just go through the specific parts that trigger the thing advancing, and you just go. I don't know what actually guides you through this.
You're given
even if it looks...
Yeah, you're casually you're given a scent you've got to follow, but I'm not sure how that actually works internally with the game. Yeah, so long as you know where you're going, you should be good. Mostly using the Beast Legion, since it's a lot more consistent, and then swapping to Arm near the end, since there's a lot of red matter here we can pick up. And then, ending up this file in the Astral Plane, we go straight in here, and then one Astral Plane section, and that's it. File 8 is definitely one of the shorter sections in any percent, it's very short. In all cases, it's very long. It's a side quest file, basically.
Yep, it's about an hour or 50 minutes. But thankfully, this particular plane has no cases, and in fact, it has nothing. We're gonna skip everything here.
Yeah, it's now just a race to the finish with this astral plane. Just skip having to use these platforms with the Arm Legion, just jump over. There's a fight in the area over there, like right in front of us. We can just, you know, move around. Just ignore it. Get on the button down here and progress the area a bit further. By using the Arrow Legion, we can just move around where the fight trigger would be and then just jump up to the top. Then we gotta move this one block to there. And then there's a big long puzzle in this section. However, it's got a pretty small trigger, so we can just jump around to the other side of it. And then from the other side of where the trigger would be, send the Arm Legion, pull this block along to the end of the puzzle, and just skip the whole thing. The entire puzzle we skip.
Usually there's a long, very long section here. The path gets completely blocked, and you're supposed to do 3 different sections in order to open it up. But yeah, the trigger is just so small that you can do that. It keeps essentially 60% of this astral plane, and we can go right into the axe fight. This is gonna be the 5th and final Legion.
Yeah, we're gonna start off by breaking its shield. It's in a wacky position though. Chain bind and then just beat on it, I think. Use the power charge when it gets back up again. Just to increase the damage. I never used a drink. I'm stupid.
Yeah, usually you want to cancel the animation of finishing the drink with a roll, but if you do it too fast, yeah, that happens.
Yeah, that was a silly ending to the fight. Or silly fight just because I forgot that. Yeah, I felt like that was pretty slow, or my damage was pretty low, and then I checked at the bottom corner. Oh, yeah, I've still got a drink here. And the Axe Legion we now have all 5 legions. Pog. The Axe Legion is very good. It is very, very strong. However, we do not quite have the access to make it super strong straight away. So we're going to do a little bit of buffing on it. And then later on in File 10 and 11 mainly, the Axe Legion is going to be our savior, I suppose. It is strong as hell. Yeah, that's the end of the file.
File laid down. Axe has 2 unique traits. 1, it's very strong, and 2, it has a shield. Shield mode is not going to be used at all. It's not super useful. You can parry some attacks with it. I think that's actually an unlockable skill, so maybe not right now, but we're not going to use it for that talent. The only other thing that you can do is place explosive swords, which you can do during the shield mode, but again, we're not going to use that. But most importantly, it places it on enemies using certain attacks. So, using fast attacks that we don't have yet, we're gonna get it on File 10 after this. We can really abuse those explosive swords and get a lot of DPS. But for now, we're gonna stick to our guns, our normal things.
Yeah, sword, arrow, maybe a little bit of beast. File 9 is pretty exciting. There's a lot of like boss fights, a lot of cool movement in the astral plane here. But first, we gotta go out of our way a little bit to refill on some drinks, since we are definitely running low. So go to is this Harmony Square still? I think so. And then turn around, go to the nearest Vendor 3. it will sell us a Megabyte Milk. We need to refill on one of those, and then 3 Fishy Water just to power us through File 9.
Yep. File 9 is essentially a boss rush. We're gonna start here with the final iteration of Homunculus, which is just a bigger version that can kinda fly, but we're gonna fight it on a small platform. And since it's a big enemy, of course, you're gonna use Round Arrow. The thing is that, first off, we need to not get this one attack in particular. The egg attack is the worst one by far. Okay, you did enough damage to knock it down and then burst it down until it has 1 HP. Hopefully that's gonna work.
That's ugly.
No, never mind. Yeah, that's why the eggs suck. So
Yeah,
bad.
I feel like I get that like half the time.
Usually, if it's on 1 HP here, you can just shoot it and end the fight here, but we're gonna have to improvise, I guess.
Yeah, just more round arrow stuff, I guess. Yeah, that's all you need.
Easy clap.
Yeah, so it's not that big of a deal. It's just kind of cringe to not get the super optimal fight. And then from there we go straight into the Astral plane. This one is one of my favorite in terms of movement, honestly. I think the movement here is really cool.
It's also probably the hardest in the entire game in terms of how many back-to-back skips you have to nail down. Yeah, this is supposed to be the interaction to Axe, since we didn't actually get to use it. So you get introduced to putting one of those exploding swords in that block to open the path. We just don't do that. Same here, with a cheeky little roll here to place Akira out of bounds. And that gas, you're supposed to also close it with Axe. You can just not do that. There's a bunch of variations to this game in particular, but what you want to do is just stay on these blocks and go to the last part. If you fall down, you can just super climb up, and it's very easy, just 2 or 3. And with that, we can skip a lot of things in that section and go into this one.
Yeah, this trick also has a lot of variance to it, but this is I'd say it's the easiest way that you can retry, so I like it a lot. You just move the block here, kind of clip it in, and then by jumping up and then doing an air attack with the Gladius, the Arm Legion will be positioned weirdly for you to just like fall off and then jump to it, and you win, basically. You just get right up on top of it.
Skipping that has been a thing from very early with something completely different to a super climb. And there's a lot of variations. There's another small thing that you can do here, but I guess not in this case, as we go into the Homunculus egg. This egg is protected by 2 layers of shields. You have to shoot those eyes, but you can also jump to it and use an aerial gun attack, which has a lot of splash damage, and it usually hits everything in that shield. So hopefully we see it here.
I don't know what I was doing there. I can't lie, I have no clue what I was cooking, but it worked. So I got hella good RNG there.
That attack. I think that was delay attack with gun and arrow. Every single weapon in the baton has a different variation for every single legion. So
yeah, a lot of a weapon and an attack types. But yeah, I got very lucky with where the eyes spawn there. They can spawn basically at any point around the shield, so they were basically all just in my path. So thanks RNG.
Here's Jenna, by the way. First fight with Jenna. This one is kind of timed. You have to damage her enough to start a dialogue and then wait for that dialogue to happen. So you just start with a bang and try to
control
get as much as possible.
You are in Zone 09. You saw it. Yosef, you've seen how he lies. How he'll trick the entire Ark into giving their lives for his twisted vision. The pandemic in Zone 09. It's all his work. all for his sick ambition. All of you must die. Joseph, you, anyone who stands in my way.
Had no Akira to continue the conversation there, unfortunately. But yeah, that's Jenna 1. And we combo Jenna 1 into a bike section.
Yeah, where was I going? So yeah, remember the bike section in File 1 at the start of the game? Yeah, 2 hours, another 2 hours later, we're back on the bike. And this time we can use our legions on the bike, which basically just means we're mashing the ZL button infinitely to just get as much damage as we can from it. Since, yeah, it's the Legion on the bike sections are not too deep in terms of the controls. But yeah, now it's, I guess, slightly more involved. This one's definitely a lot longer, a lot more enemies on our path, rather than just a few aberrations.
And it's also not an auto-scholar. You have to actively fight things, or
Yeah.
else it doesn't progress. It's also the hardest possible mission in a entire game to S+. It's very annoying to not get hit, and it's the only thing that counts. So shout out to that. If you ever try to get that, my condolences.
Yeah, it's rough. I mean, I haven't even tried. I've just tried doing it on PT Ultimate, just trying to get through the section. It is not great.
I guess also worth noting, you have a dodge that you can use, and it's pretty good. But usually you don't want to use it in a run because it has some slowdown.
Yeah, it plays
so
a
we're
little
gonna
just time slowdown animation, like, hey, look how cool you are, look at the cinematic dodge. Yeah, this game is very, very flashy with a lot of what you do, especially with things like the finish off prompts that, yeah, we haven't gotten to see, but yeah. This game is very cool. Makes you feel like an
It's fine.
absolute gamer.
We're gonna see quite a finish off for one fight coming up.
True.
In case you didn't have enough anime in your day.
And yeah, recalling back to the truck at the start of the game. However, we now just whack it out of the way. This very chunky Chimera is now fighting against us.
I think it's another Briareus, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, it looks a lot like Briareus, but I have no clue. So yeah, just
Especially getting unlucky with the rubble.
Yeah, just gotta mash as much ZR, as much ZL as we can to just get as much damage as we can on this fight. Then a little bit further, that's not the final boss, there's still a little bit more of this section, and then, yeah. Closing in on the end of the file.
We're gonna go into the only fight that we're gonna see that has a splash screen for the enemy. Every single enemy is named in some way, and usually you get an interaction cutscene that just gives you that name and their categorization. I think this one is C8?
C6.
Out of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and X. C9 is the funny one because, yeah. Anyway, Cryos is gonna try to punch us as much as possible. You want to dodge it, and that usually gives you some chances for Arrow to get some backstabs. And the one thing that you want to do is kill it before it shoots his finisher move, which is the laser at the end, at around, I want to say 15% health.
Yeah, he has 3 attacks and they're all pretty damn telegraphed. I don't know if is he gonna go for one more attack here? Yeah. So the next attack will be his super laser. And I will probably, this damage has been really rough. I probably won't kill him in time. Yeah, it's strong. It did like what, almost half of my HP bar there, just from that one attack, and that will hit you twice. So it's not great. And now back to Jenna. She is evolved. She now flies for some reason.
Yeah, she took a lot of drugs, of enhancing drugs, that she made herself, and now she's this angel of death, I guess. And what you want to do is throw her to the ground as fast as possible, and bind, and then wail on her. You don't need to deplete the entire health bar, but doing that is good enough. As she transitions into, I guess, even more drugs, and then transforming into an angel from Evangelion.
Yeah, go into her final form. But first up, we got some friends. Some more Proto Legions, and we beat these guys up with the Arm Legion Assault Command. This does a lot of damage, so you just get rid of them super quickly, especially with our Fishy Water as well, just increasing our damage that much more. And then, it's a big enemy, so guess what we're gonna beat up Jenna 3 with. That's right, it's Round Arrow. Round Arrow's time to shine. Honestly, that's kind of just been the theme of this file, I guess, a lot of Round Arrow strats. So yeah, just Power Charge, Fishy Water, and Spin to win. When she punches, that's just an excuse to get a bunch more targeted damage onto her, which is nice. Yeah, her health bar goes down very, very fast.
Yep. Her arms get destroyed first, and then at around whatever this is, 10%, I don't know, he just busts her down and go for the anime finisher. Nice, passing through the thing.
And yeah, this is us now. We have fused with our Legion unintentionally, and we don't have much control over what we're doing, and we're just like attacking Akira now. The game has these little quick time events of like just moving the control stick back and forth whilst Akira's trying to reason with us to like get us to not attack him. However, that is slow. It is slower to do that than to not do it. So we just beat on Akira here. We just whack him a bunch, and it's just I guess a bit of a cutscene now to finish the file.
I call this section Morbing Time, by the way. That's for the extra meme.
Yeah, nice time to get a little bit of a stretch in before file 10 and 11.
Oh yeah, more lore, by the way. Now we are the bad guys. Akira has the Ravens and is now the main police force. And also our boss is evil, apparently.
Yeah, who could have saw that coming? Plot twist of the century. So the Ravens were all ordered to like just shoot us, and we got knocked off this building or off this highway, I believe. And we were rescued by Hal and Olive, who are now in I can't remember what this place is called.
I'm not sure what this place is in particular. I just assume it's Mason Forest or whatever. And people live here. That's what you need to know. And this is some sort of base of operations for Hal. Not actually his home, because he always tells us from home with this hologram. Anyway, we're gonna go around. You're supposed to change to your casual clothes so people don't know you're a cop. We don't really care. We're gonna get this last upgrade to the X-Baton to get the 360 degree speed. That's gonna be very useful upcoming. And also some drink refills as we go and solve problems around the neighborhood. You only need to solve 2. Doesn't matter which ones you do. There's a bunch of different options, but as long as you solve 2 specific cases, you can unlock the next part. So we do the faster ones, starting with beating up some people with the power of spinning to win version 2. Remember this guy, Axe? Well, now he's useful.
Yeah. Oh my god, I'm getting... These guys always love to prank me. These guys are actually so annoying. But yeah, we just kind of spin. And in theory, if we do it properly, everyone just kind of dies instantly. That was, yeah, not great on my end. They can stun you out of your attacks, which is really annoying. But don't worry, we'll see a lot more spinning coming up.
Access speed problem gets solved by that particular command because he just spins very fast, deals a lot of damage, puts those floating swords in every single enemy as well, so that deals extra damage. And in general, it's going to be a very useful thing to use in fights coming up. Even if it's just one dude, it's generally faster to use that than Roundabout at this point.
Yeah, it's definitely our main method of attacking now. Yeah, basically any fight we've got, we will probably be spinning and winning.
Oh yeah, these are detectors for chimeras and aberrations. They're supposed to keep everyone safe. This one got broken somehow, so we have to fix it. And here you have to move your Legion around and attack with that, because we can't get separated from the detector, otherwise that percentage will start going down. We want it to go up.
One last group of enemies. This time there's a Chimera. Now, just by spamming the Axe Legion back and forth, we just do enough damage to kill. And yeah, that is... Now we just wait for a few seconds whilst we finish up the job on this detector. And we can move on to helping out Hal a little bit more. Can't remember why we're going here as like the source of something bad going on around.
The guy that is supposedly destroying the detectors for some reason. We're gonna find it here. And he's not a threat. What's a threat is what's coming up after him, which is a new snake type enemy. They like to burrow underground and you have to dig them up. That's bad. So to start off, we're gonna throw iron. Hopefully it's gonna grab onto the guy and that draws animation, and you can just kill it here. And then you spawn ham the second wave.
And
kill
we
it before they
spin.
worry about.
Yeah, it just does so much damage to literally anyone. It's really, really good. Yeah, that's the fight. It was a little weird since I didn't equip my drink beforehand, which is usually what you want. Just because I slightly misremembered where I was going. I went to the I went to the wrong drink in the menu. Because yeah, you've never really got a lot of time, so you just gotta move as fast as possible. And when that movement is incorrect, it's not great for you. Olive has now she found like a signal from Brenda, her friend down in the sewers. So now she wants to go there. So this is the second mandatory stealth section. This time, though, we get sent back if we get caught. We can't fight our way through. But thankfully, there's like, unless you're bad, or unless you're throwing, there's like no chance of getting caught. It was kind of difficult casually, but yeah, when you know the speedrun strats, it's pretty simple. Yeah, I feel kind of mean for saying bad, but yeah, these guys are very generous in terms of not seeing you. Like there, for example, like that was only 70%, and that's pretty high. That's way higher than usual.
Yeah, there's a whole section after this below the ground that you're supposed to go through, and it's very annoying, and ironically, but you can just do this with arm and go right to the end.
Then bind these two last guys, and yeah, drain the channel there. This last guy at the end.
Got by the meme guy.
Now I can get into...
No.
Yeah, I didn't go for the meme strat, but whatever.
It was love at first sight. But, like, for friends.
So shout outs to
We couldn't be more different, person
fell in love, but for friends. Definitely something that people do. Thanks, Nintendo.
Yeah, they were afraid. They were too afraid to keep that line out, or to, yeah, just.
We've got to hurry.
What am I saying? Anyway, super climb. All I'm saying, Brenda X Olive. I'm telling you.
This is a kind of annoying section to do properly. There's 2 fights that you want to skip here with super climbing. Skipping one of them skips the other one as well, which is the one that is supposed to be here. There's a bunch of ways to do it, but that was good enough. Unfortunately, there's an invisible wall here that doesn't let us advance. Oh no!
Yeah, what will
What
we
are we
do?
gonna do?
Yeah, when super climbing was discovered, this was the first, like, applied use for it in actual runs. This is the first one that was, like, being used, and now they're used, like, basically everywhere. Basically every file has some kind of super climb strat that's used, and yeah. The OG being this one. Okay, I completely missed that. Hold on me.
Small skip here, by the way. You're supposed to get stopped by officers trying to shoot this guy, Kronos. You can clip out of the stairs and go fast enough for that not to happen. And just go right into this fight. Which should be very fast.
Yeah, you get so much damage here. It's nuts.
Just like that.
For some reason, the song is still playing, despite the fact we're done. I don't know why it does this. I guess we were just too damn
It happens.
fast.
Sometimes it decides to happen. I don't know. Anyway, grab a drink. Get ready for some stretches because it's time for auto scrolling.
Alright, will I be cool enough to do the funny?
Let's do the funny, yes. Here, Akira and the Ravens have caught up with you because apparently Brenda was bait, or they follow her, either or works out anyway. So you have to supposedly fight against the Ravens, which are here. You don't really need to do that, just waste time because you can't kill them. You can do a lot of funny things here, like go out of bounds and just take selfies. You can knock them down quite a lot. They are funny because they get knocked out by everything. You can just waste your time however you want. Wait for the dialogue to happen. Wait for Joseph to talk about the annals of human history or whatever the hell. And there's 3 phases here. First one is this. Then we're gonna learn the deep secret of the Ravens. You're not gonna believe it.
Yeah, apparently because Akira is like, yo, these guys, you don't really have proof that they're committing treason, you can't exactly arrest them on that charge, and then Yosef's like, nah, screw you, and then, bam, all of the Ravens are actually clones of Akira.
And Akira is dead.
And
again!
Yeah, they just like, what did they even do? They just like stabbed him or something. I don't know. Wasn't very. Akira gets kind of a rough time in this game. I cannot lie. Then
Funny.
yeah, Yosef's going on about how he's like all high and mighty. Luckily this section's a lot shorter. It's literally just over now. Oh, after Doctor. And then one last final bit. Akira has done the thing I did before, fused with his Legion. And we can't really fight back. We don't really have that power. If we try and fight back, our attacks will just be bounced off. It's not good. We're in a kind of awkward situation here. So, whilst we're like trying to not get brutally murdered by Akira,
The Legion's survival instincts kick in.
Yeah, Brenda, Olive, and Hal are all chatting about possible solutions to what's going down right now. Very slowly, mind you. They are they are definitely not feeling too hasty about this, but
This is what happens when you have an invisible barrier
yeah,
around you.
yeah, they can't get hit. They're doing just fine. Like,
But it seems so remote.
why can't I be hiding behind there as well? But yeah, we can't do any damage in this phase, so we're just waiting. Yeah, Hal is proposing that we now swap to our form of that, like, and control it. So, we're gonna try it. Fishy
It's
water
a long shot.
and power charge, and then we now have gained the power to Legion Fusion and Pepe D, what a banger.
Dark Hero.
The human body
Female version, the better one, of course.
Of course.
before you pass out.
Anyway, Fusion is really good. You do a lot of damage, but you don't want to do the finisher. Usually, you just want to get a few hits and then dodge to cancel the finisher. And you also have the projectile attack for when Akira goes in the walls, which is essentially guaranteed. And since the buffs actually stack with the Fusion, you can just burst him down very fast and end file 10.
Yeah, if you play well, you have like like a second or two of the song playing, or of the actual lyrics, like a line or two. It's a full on song, but yeah, you do not get to hear all too much of it in this run, unfortunately. And now we are in the final file of the game, file 11. And this time we are mounting a full-on assault on the Aegis Research Institute, trying to get Joseph down, because he is clearly not a very good guy. So he is now like the big enemy. Jenna, yeah, forgot to mention Jenna did die in file 9, so now our new big bad is Joseph.
This is the final file, and it's essentially a gauntlet of challenges. But it starts with this also time section. You have to get to the elevator and then just wait for a while. We unlocked the fusion, and you can see that meter right next to the health bar. We have it ready now, and we could use it once. It charges usually by doing sync attacks, so you technically can use it twice in this section if you just spam some sync attacks. That used to be the strat for this part. We're gonna save it until essentially the very end now and only use it once. It's a very strong buff, but of course you can't just use it everywhere.
It's wrong, and we've got to stop him.
What is it?
The elevator.
Do you copy? We got out of the elevator.
So the elevator jammed, and we are now having to progress forward. And we're going to run into something not so great coming up now. Well, not so great if your name is Akira. Certainly.
Radio jamming.
And one of the reasons I decided to play as female, because this section gets very awkward on the other end, honestly.
So we're going to use some more black hole strategies. And yeah, there are a lot of clones. There are a lot of clones of Akira. All of these pods are just Akira again and again. So this is not the greatest black hole, but whatever.
The clones really like to knock you around, stagger you for a while. So you want to enter this with the armor from Mega Milk, and then just gather them around and try to kill them as fast as possible. Otherwise it gets very annoying very fast.
Yeah, that wasn't great. How much health do we have? Yeah, that wasn't my finest play there, whatever. Couldn't quite get like really nice black holes, get everyone in. So now we're progressing forward a little more. And we're gonna run into this room full of scientists. And most of them are going to be turning into aberrations, so it's kind of awkward. Akira is running ahead right now, far ahead of us. So yeah, we need to make sure we're keeping up pace with him. However, the way he wants to go now is being blocked off, so we need to find another way around. So we need to go backwards. Shoot this with the arrow.
Here starts gauntlet of using every single legion in your arsenal now to traverse through and find Akira. But we're gonna be interrupted with a fight against Arc. Arc with an E, not the arc that we're on. I don't know why they decided to name an enemy like this. But
Yeah, it's a weird choice, certainly. And yeah, we're able to use the little bit of the fishy water we had from the fight before in this fight, just to keep up the damage across the whole 2 fights.
right, hallway of terrors. There's 3 walls here. You can skip all of them, but it gets kind of tricky. Thankfully, Shem got 2. This is supposed to be the Axe Legion part, and it tells you explicitly to use it, but you can just tank through it with arm, easy. And here's the real annoying part. Getting hit here means starting over, so you don't want to do that.
Yeah, it's very telegraphed, but it can be very easy to make mistakes. I've definitely had it on PB pace where I've just thrown to Hall of Terrors. And then, yeah, Arm Legion to open it. Arm Legion strong. And now...
ready for another Gloam fight. Kinda.
Now it's against the Ravens in full. So start off with another black hole, and we spin some more.
If you don't use this stat in particular, the Ravens can easily dodge your attacks and then retaliate. So that's why you also need the super armor.
Yeah.
So yeah, they are very annoying. Thankfully, this combination, which by the way is also extra strong with that meteor sword floating and hitting every single enemy inside the vortex. So it takes care of them very fast, assuming they all get caught right away.
Yeah, if you have to do a second black hole, it's not too slow. Usually I find myself having to do that. But yeah, not too terrible. That still works. And yeah, that is the last vending machine we get. Now it's just fight after fight after fight to get to the end of the game. And first up in this lift, we've got several phases of enemies. Several just mostly generic chimeras.
Until we get to the ice enemies.
Yeah, for some reason that's like the theme of this lift. A lot of them are just ice-based. I don't know why.
Ice is the worst possible element by far because no matter what you have, unless you have an ability that blocks freezing, if you get hit by any of their attacks, you're gonna get freeze. Or frozen, rather. Thankfully that didn't happen. That was pretty nice.
That was
And we
actually
go
really
into
clean.
Scylla.
Yeah, just spin to win. Finish off with one last gun attack. And now we are finally reunited with Akira. He is at the top with some ravens that he apparently killed. And now we have to fight Akira. Now he's just like he is not having a great day. He is not having a great day, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, Akira is a very annoying fight because he essentially has super armor as well, but you can just chain jump and throw him to the ground and then, yeah.
Yeah, that'll disable his Legion as well, which is super nice because that Legion is a massive pain. Speaking of a massive pain, that goddamn beast attack. But yeah, now we need to fight
Here.
proto-legions, or just legions of just like replicas of each one. This is not going how I intended it to go.
No. Unfortunately, this is the worst possible RNG in general. There's a few attacks that you can't armor through with Legion Fusion, and usually you want to use this fusion for the entirety of the fight, the 5 Legions. But yeah, that didn't quite work out.
Use my backup Sweet Peach. Alright. Whatever, decent enough backup. That was, yeah, not great.
Alright, most confusing transition in the game if you skip the cutscene. This is Joseph now, or rather Noah. He has transcended humanity or whatever, and he has the power to create platforming challenges.
And he is very big. He is very big. This will be our final boss, but there's a few phases to it. So this first section against Big Noah is very platforming based, yeah. However, we can just like kind of jump off instead of doing the platforming challenges, and that'll push us forward. There's 4 platforming phases. 3 of them we can jump off, and it'll just progress us to the next one, and then the last one we've actually got to do. But yeah, it's faster to just jump off than to actually do the platforming. And then we get absorbed.
You have to wait.
Yeah, and then we get absorbed into Noah and have to fight its core, and then one last fight against Noah Prime, just the final boss.
Yeah, of course. We have the classic progression between Angel of Death that has transcended humanity into core of the Angel of Death after getting absorbed into very powerful Twink. That happens in essentially any RPG. This is an RPG, right?
I guess so. I'd say this is an RPG.
This is the one that has to be actually completed. There's 2 ways to go around this particular platforming section. You can either do this, the safe one, doing chain jumps. If you notice, every single chain jump is going to slow down Noah's movement a little bit. You can also do this with arm dashes. And it is faster because it doesn't get this slowdown, but at the same time, it's very easy because you are not in control of your camera to just dash into the void. So taking it safe is kind of good.
Yeah, at this late point in the run, I'd just rather play it safe than risk falling off here. Alright, so now the core. So this is a fight in file 10/11 Astral Chain, so we're gonna spin and we're gonna win, basically.
Yeah, and this is quite a complicated fight, really. There's a bunch of phases that if you can out-damage them, they never come up. Mostly the one that you want to avoid is a shield that he puts up, and then you have to fight some enemies that take quite a while to appear. But thankfully, with this much DPS, you can just bust it down.
Yeah, really quick fight there. And now, Noah Prime.
Actual final boss of the run.
Yeah, probably. I think something cool about Noah Prime is like compared to all the massive enemies we fought, he is really not just the guy, you know.
Oh,
yeah.
he is powerful.
I
was fighting the run by far.
I always think that's pretty cool. So we start off using that attack to like stun him for a sec. When enemies are doing attacks, sometimes you can like use the sword like field skill to just like break their guard before they can do it.
You want to damage him as much as possible in that first opener and then react to whatever attack it is if you don't get the kill right away, which is possible but pretty hard. Unfortunately, this is not a great pattern. Usually what you want to do is use Howl with Beast, depending on the attack, to just get more damage in. That No is definitely not giving us good patterns, but that should be phase 1 coming up.
Yeah. Yeah, when he gets to about 50% HP or about 45%, he becomes final Noah Prime. And that is actually the final fight. He grows an extra pair of arms and becomes more red. And will carry us away.
Yeah, it's a funny strat. You have to wait for the stun for it to teleport away. This is the main loop of Noah Prime. He goes up, you stun him, and then you try to get as much damage as possible. Also save a drink for this part particular, and that was a really nice final fight.
Yeah, that was a
Now,
really good
time
time
to-
too. So it's about a
Time to
minute.
call out the whole squad.
Yeah, it's about 40 seconds now from time. We get this very nice cinematic of using just every single Legion to completely destroy Noah Prime. And finish him off like this.
And time is not quite yet, by the way. Time is gonna be because Noah is still too powerful to die, but he absorbed our brother, and our brother is now sentient or something and holding him back. So we have to either kill our brother or let him kill himself.
Yeah, and it is the illusion of free choice, because whatever you do, Acura's gonna die.
And time is when we choose one
Now.
of those.
246.05. That was it was okay outside of like File 7, I think. It was pretty decent other than that, I'd say. But yeah, File 7's hard.
Beat estimate, it was a nice showcase in general, even with the difficulties in the bad file that we all hate.
Yeah, I lost like 3 minutes to the super climb there, so it's just how it goes, I guess. Like 3 or 4 minutes even. But yeah, still a solid showcase, I'd say. Yeah, always very glad to get to play this game, and yeah, I'm glad to have shown it off. To a decent audience of people as well. Like, yeah, this game is sick. This game's so cool.
This game rules, and you should all get it and play it.
And then speedrun it as well, of course.
Yeah, we have a hot new category coming up, NG Ultimate. You're gonna love it.
Yeah, yeah. I did one run of NG Plus on Ultimate, which is, yeah, the hardest difficulty, and it was painful. So doing that from a new game sounds not great, but it's whatever. Also, banger credits theme going right now. Yeah, I guess like just a mention to the Astral Chain speedrun community. It's not the biggest community in the world, but it's super cool. A lot of people who really do love this game, and yeah, especially people like Ratu as well, who's just like who's yeah, world record holder in basically everything. He is insanely talented at this game. And yeah, if you
And also commenting on the Japanese stream.
yeah,
For
true.
a quick shout out to that.
Yeah, shoutouts to Hareta. If you haven't had enough, if you want more Astral Chain gaming, this will be at ESA as well, being ran by Hareta, so...
Yep, on I think the 21st, so in about 2 weeks, I'll be there.
Yeah, very exciting. We were recently at GDQ as well with Ratu, and yeah, very exciting time for Astral Chain at marathons, I guess. You do indeed love to see it. Yeah, I think that's most of what I want to mention. So yeah, thanks.